What do you see as the differences between what you will bring to the job and what your opponent brings to the job? And this is 90 seconds, and you will get another opportunity.
Well, I'm not going to criticize Colleen, but I'll tell you what I bring to the table. I've been effective on behalf of Hawaii in getting things done. I've been able to build the relationships that have put me in a unique position to help Hawaii. I'm the chair of the Tourism Committee, I'm the chair of the Water and Power Committee, and that puts me in a position to help with clean energy and help with tourism. We've also been able to build friends and build friendships across the country and across the aisle. And some of the key appropriators have been very, very helpful to the state of Hawaii. Senator Dick Durbin is the #2 Democrat in the Senate. He's the chair of the Defense Appropriations Subcommittee, and Maisie and I invited him to Hawaii, and he toured all of our assets, and he committed not just to articulate the need for the Asia-Pacific rebalancing, but to put resources behind it. Patrick Leahy, the President Pro Tem of the Senate, is the State Department Subcommittee Appropriations Chair. Why does that matter? It matters because he made sure that the East-West Center got full funding. And so I've been successful in building the relationships, not for my own sake, but to make sure that your priorities and your values are represented in the United States Senate.
Thank you. Ms. Hanabusa, give us 90 seconds on what you see as the differences between what you will bring to the job and what your opponent will bring to the job. 90 seconds.
The differences is our record. And remember, we were voted in by the people of respective districts exactly the same year. Our political age is the same. So look at what we've done in that same period of time. It is that record, it is the proven leadership that I bring to this position. Now know that it is very different, and I know it as the President of the Senate, where majority were Democrats, more than majority, supermajority were Democrats. I know what it's like to be in a situation where you basically can call all the shots. The real test, however, is when you're not in control, when you're not in the majority party. And that's what I've done for 4 years in the House of Representatives. It is coming and delivering for Hawaii when you don't have the majority there. You can say whatever you want, you can sign on to bills, you can try to pass things, but it takes cooperation, it takes being able to work in a bipartisan manner. That is what is the difference between us. I have a proven record of being leader in the Senate, and yes, we had a lot. We had a lot of Democrats, but for the time I was there, I never forgot my Republican colleagues because they were also important because they also represented a constituency in our state.
Thank you. Mr. Schatz, 1 minute more, please, on the same topic.
Well, I've been able to pass a couple of pieces of legislation on a bipartisan basis, and one thing to remember about the U.S. Senate is you can't pass anything without a bipartisan dance partner. And so the two people I worked with the closely, Jim Inhofe is the most conservative guy that you'll ever meet. I can't agree with him on anything, but we were able to work together on the Native Vets Memorial Act. I was also able to work with Republicans on amendments to the National Defense Authorization to make sure that defense communities are built with smart growth principles in mind. Look, I feel strongly about Social Security. I feel strongly about college affordability. I feel strongly about women's rights and equal rights and the right for organized labor to be strong in our community. And I'm not going to compromise those principles. But when there's an opportunity to work with someone across the aisle, if it's in the public's best interest, then I've demonstrated an ability to do just that.
Thank you. Ms. Hanabusa, 1 additional minute.
You know, it's very different when you are the majority. Believe me, I know that. The true test of one's skills is when you are in the minority, as I have been for the 4 years. I'm a minority within the minority. And when you do that, when you have to then go to people who can decide whether they're going to even listen to you, that shows you the amount of skill that is necessary to bring things home for a state that in the past has benefited so much by the bipartisan relationships that our two senators have had. You know, Brian mentions the smart growth policy. That started in the House with Earl Blumenauer. He started the smart growth, and we had it in our National Defense Authorization Act. So many of the things that get passed get passed because on both sides, we need to see that level of cooperation. It's just harder in the House, but it should be easier if you're part of the majority.
Thank you. And we are now at the time of our forum where we have closing statements, and each candidate has 2 minutes to say whatever they would like. And by luck of the draw, it was agreed that Senator Schatz would go first. 2 minutes, Senator Schatz, your closing statement. And please remember, we're reserving our applause or whatever until I give you the signal.
Maybe you're a leader in a community organization, a coach for Little League or soccer, a business leader, a church member, or active in your kids' schools. Whether you're in the Senate or just someone who pitches in wherever help is needed, you're in public service. You're putting your values and your priorities to work in the service of others. That's exactly how I approach my job as your senator, to take our shared values to Washington. That means voting to protect Social Security every time someone tries to cut it. And it means pushing to strengthen and increase Social Security benefits for our loved ones. Putting our values to work means fighting for an economy that works for all of us, families, not special interest groups. Because no matter how often we hear about powerful special interests in Washington, you and I know nothing is more powerful than the love and the dreams that we have for our children. For me, public service isn't about what chairing 2 subcommittees adds to my resume or what President Obama's endorsement does for my campaign. It's about putting those chairmanships to work, promoting clean energy and tourism, and working with President Obama to make college more affordable and equal pay for women a reality. We have so much to be proud of here on Hawaii Island. Hilo, what's happening with agriculture, what's happening with tourism, clean energy, and my job in the Senate is to help all of you succeed. I'm profoundly grateful for your attention to this debate. I'm profoundly honored to put our shared values to work as your U.S. Senator, and profoundly humbled to ask for your vote. Mahalo.
Thank you so much. And now to Ms. Hanabusa, 2-minute closing statement.
Thank you, and thank you, Sherry, for moderating. Thank you to the sponsors. And I have to give a special shout out to the Portuguese Chamber of Commerce, and my husband will never forgive me, so thank you. This is an important election, and I'd also like to thank Irene Hirano-Inoue for being with us with Dr. Ruth, because this is the first time that the people of the state of Hawaii will have the opportunity to determine who will serve the remainder of Senator Inoue's term, and that's what this is. This is the remainder of his term. I want to thank the people of the Big Island for the opportunity to learn from you, the opportunity to listen as you shared your concerns with me. Hawaii Island is truly a very special place, and Senator Inoue knew that. As I mentioned earlier this morning, we were at the rededication of what would be now known as the Daniel K. Inouye Pacific Research Agricultural Research Center. What was important was Jennifer Sabas gave us the history of how it came to be. And I think that it solidified what this is all about. Jennifer told us how in 1990, as all the sugar plantations were closing down, Senator wanted to do something. And he said that the bulk of the success of Hawaii Island was going to depend on the farmers, on the people, on the community. And he was willing to invest in all of you, and because all of you would make it work as your greatest industry started to close down, one after the other. I was so touched by that and realized what this is all about. It is about you, and we are here to ask you, and I am here to ask you for your trust that I will continue with that dream and continue in believing in all of you. Mahalo for being here.
Thank you. Now I'd like to, before we say aloha and give them a big rousing Hilo aloha, thank you so much to the people who've made it possible for tonight to occur. Partly the volunteers who set up every single one of these chairs and made this all happen, to our timers, Vaughn Cook and Mary Begier, to the sponsors who provided the money to rent Sangha Hall and advertising and everything else. Japanese Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Hawaii, Hawaii Island Chamber of Commerce, Hawaii Island Realtors, Hawaii Island Contractors Association, Kanoe Luhui Industrial Area Association, Hawaii Island Portuguese Chamber of Commerce, of course, Hawaii Public Radio, and you may listen to this forum tomorrow night on HPR 1 at 6 o'clock. You may watch this again at BigIslandVideoNews.com, at Hawaii247.com, on Naleo o Hawaii, and you may take advantage of 3 other forums on Oahu, which will be televised, but which will not have the great audience that we have here tonight, because truly Hawaii Island's the best. Let's thank our candidates.